Traffic is the curse of every big city. Throughout most of the world, motorcycles are allowed to move around and through slow-moving traffic. It's called lane splitting, and it is vastly misunderstood and feared by American motorists because they're unfamiliar with it. That's understandable because lane splitting is illegal in every state but California. What people don't realize is that done responsibly, it's actually safer for motorcyclists and beneficial for everyone. On our highways, motorcycles and cars are treated almost the same. Although motorcycles take up significantly less space than cars, they're not allowed to share a lane with a car or ride between lanes of traffic. This means that they're taking up nearly as much space in traffic as the cars. When lane splitting is legal, motorcycles are effectively removed from traffic because they basically have their own lanes. Think about that. Even in a car, you could be getting to your destination sooner, but instead, you have to wait in line behind a vehicle that could very easily be getting out of your way. Lane splitting at an intersection is called filtering. Some motorists get upset because they feel that the motorcyclists are unfairly cutting in line, but watch what happens when the light changes. Because motorcycles have a much higher power-to-weight ratio and because they are actually safer to operate when moving, the motorcycles quickly jump ahead of the slower accelerating traffic, and once again they're virtually removed from traffic. The gap between these cars is big enough that I could easily filter up to the front of the line, but the law prevents me from doing so. So instead, I wait at the back feeling vulnerable and exposed to one of a motorcyclist's worst nightmares, a rear-end collision. If this motorcyclist had been allowed to filter, he would have been protected by the cars around him. In hot weather, motorcycles and riders depend on moving air to keep them cool. Sitting in traffic on a hot day can cause a motorcycle engine to seize and the rider to become dangerously hot. That creates a temptation for some riders to shed protective gear as the weather heats up, further putting them at risk. In 2014, UC Berkeley and the CHP conducted a study which concluded that motorcyclists who split lanes at speeds no more than 10 miles per hour faster than the flow of traffic were in no more danger than motorcycling in any other circumstance. In fact, motorcyclists who split lanes are arguably safer due to increased visibility and increased mobility. Motorcycling is an activity that involves a certain amount of risk. These are risks that riders accept and deal with every day. It's why motorcyclists are required to take significantly more training before we're allowed to ride on public streets. Lane splitting isn't really about riders like myself getting where we want to go faster. It's more about keeping riders safe and reducing congestion on our streets. Right now, roughly 1 in 20 registered vehicles is a motorcycle. If lane splitting were legal, it's not unreasonable to assume that more of those bikes would be on the road during our commute, and that means reduced dependence on fossil fuels and shorter commute times for all of us.